Good morning, hello, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are, and welcome to episode 2 of Frontwing TV. We have a lot of stuff to share with you today, so let's just get right into it. The first thing we're going to do today is just take a quick look here. Last month, we had the release of Corona Blossom Volume 3, so if any of you haven't checked that out yet, I'm just going to play out the opening movie for you here so you can take a look at that. And so enjoy this.
空へ飛ぶよ
Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. So yes, now with Corona Blossom Volume 3 being out, the whole trilogy is released, so if you've been holding off on checking out the game, now is your chance to play through the whole trilogy at once. I'm just pulling up the Steam page here for you. So, you can see here we've got, this is obviously in Japanese, so it's showing in yen, but Corona Blossom Volume 3 is available on Steam. And speaking of Steam, let me just mute this thing here. We have some sales going on right now as well. Let me pull this up. So right now we're having a Valentine's Day sale. It's 2 weeks long, so it's been going on for about a week now. But currently the Leisure of Grisaia is 20% off. The Afterglow of Grisaia is 25% off, and those are both Grisaia side stories taking place. The first one's a side story for the Fruit of Grisaia, and the second is for the Labyrinth of Grisaia, and they're just quick, short little 3-4 hour fun little diversions that you can play if you're needing a little bit more of that Grisaia kick in your life and you've finished playing through the main trilogy games. And we've also got Purino Party at 35% off, which is the cheapest it's ever been, and that's a puzzle game featuring characters from Pure Girl and Innocent Girl, so if you're into a little puzzle action with visual novel elements, you should check that out. Alright, and another thing I want to point out to you guys, if you weren't aware, this is another Valentine's Day promotion we did. We had a poll on Twitter, and we had everyone vote for their favorite Frontwing heroines or heroes, and we made some special wallpapers for the two that won. We had a very close race between the top two. I think it was like 5 or 10 votes apart. So we had Michiru and Sachi were the two winners of the poll. So we made some special wallpapers. We have a PC size and also sizes for various mobile devices, and the link to that it's on our Facebook and Twitter pages, so if you go there you can find it. You might have to scroll down a little bit, but we'll tweet that out again after the broadcast for any of you who missed it. Alright, so next up I want to take a quick look here at the official site for Grisaia Phantom Trigger, which is our upcoming title, which is a new entry of completely new series set in the Grisaia universe. The first 2 volumes are set to release on April 28th, so just about 2 months away now. And we've been slowly rolling out a whole lot of information on this official site. We have some character introduction videos on here, and we also just recently put out the some cast interviews with the voice cast of Phantom Trigger. We've got, I believe, 4 up now, 5, and we'll have more of these coming later as well, so keep an eye out for the second half of these interviews in the coming weeks. And so, speaking of Phantom Trigger, I think it's time to get to our big, huge #1 announcement of this stream. And this is a completely new announcement. We haven't talked about this at all. Some of you may have been anticipating something like this, but hopefully this will whet your appetites and get you looking forward to Grisaia Phantom Trigger even more. I'm going to pull this up here. So this is already launched. We haven't tweeted the URL out or anything yet, but this is available to check out, and we'll tweet it out, post it on Facebook after the stream. But we have a Prefundia page up to give you a preview of our upcoming Grisaia Phantom Trigger Kickstarter campaign. And so I'll just kind of walk you through the page at a glance. You can obviously go through it in detail after the stream and check out all the rewards and everything. But basically, the reason we're doing a Kickstarter is kind of twofold. One of the main reasons, this is similar to the reason we did Indiegogo campaigns for the Corona Blossom series, is we want to make English physical editions of the game available to everyone, as well as English versions of the various, like the art book and other additional materials like that. And we want to make a way for it very easy to our fans to get their hands on those, and also make it feasible for us to be able to produce them and know what kind of size of demand we have for those, because normally we would just be producing the Japanese physical versions and releasing on Steam, but being able to do crowdfunding really helps us to be able to get a idea of that demand out there and easily get physical versions out to everyone out there. And the other goal, the other reason for this Kickstarter campaign is in Japan, there is planned a special Phantom Trigger manga adaptation that will come free with physical versions of the game in Japan. And so what we want this campaign to enable us to do is to make a full English localization of that manga and offer it, just like in Japan, offer the English version to all of our fans elsewhere. Do we have any questions or anything in there? I've got an assistant with me today, keeping an eye on the chat. So if anyone has any questions or comments, you can feel free to leave them, and I will try and get to them. Yes. So in regards to a trilogy bundle on Steam, that's probably for Corona Blossom. That's probably something we'll do eventually, but we want to hold off on that a little bit because we don't want anyone to feel like that they contributed to the Indiegogo campaigns and then suddenly the games are like 50% off in a bundle on Steam and they wish they would have waited. But that'll probably happen at a later date, and we'll obviously have that announcement coming for you as soon as it is. So, coming back here to this Prefundia page, I'll just kind of walk you through it a little bit. This is essentially what the Kickstarter campaign will look like when it launches. There might be a few changes. Obviously, the reason we're running a Prefundia is that we want to get all your opinions on the way we have it set up currently, see if there are certain rewards that aren't present that you'd like to see, or certain rewards maybe that are present that you're not that interested in. There's a comment section at the bottom of the Prefundia page where you can leave your comments and suggestions, or you can contact us via Twitter, Facebook, things like that. But it just gives you an outline of what Phantom Trigger is, why we're doing the campaign. So yeah, you can take a look here at our graph, kind of as I outlined earlier. One of the biggest reason for the campaign is reward production, and then we have the manga translation, and then other various logistical needs for the English release of the game. And we do have, so here's all the rewards. I'm not going to go through them in detail just because that would take quite a while, and you can look at them later, but I will outline some of the higher tier rewards here. So yeah, these are kind of our 3 super special rewards. Each of them, the first one here, these 2 actually contain signed items by our character artist Akio Watanabe. These are going to be limited, extremely limited rewards, 15 and 10 pieces respectively. And then down here we have some extra special things. We have completely original hand-drawn shikishis from Akio Watanabe. We have a limited to 3 black and white shikishi, and then a limited to just 1 person full color shikishi that will be only available through this campaign. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get a personalized artwork drawn and signed for you by Akio Watanabe, so if you're into that sort of thing, this is going to be something you want to go for and, you know, try and get your contribution in there as soon as it opens up. And we do have a number of stretch goals planned, and we have one revealed currently, which is to print a physical version of the English manga. Sorry, I neglected to mention it a moment ago, but the base goal for the campaign is going to be $80,000. That's where we currently have it set. And then this first stretch goal is set just a little bit above that at $100,000. We'll be able to print physical versions of the translated English manga. So if this isn't met, it'll be a digital version of the manga that's distributed free to all backers. But if we meet this stretch goal, the physical version will come free to all backers receiving the physical version of the game. So that's something we think we can easily push for. And once that's met, we'll have some other stretch goals to review to you as well. So we hope you're looking forward to that. And that is essentially the basic overview of the Prefundia page. There's an FAQ at the bottom which answers probably some of the most common questions we'll get. But yeah, as I said, feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, critiques, all of that in the comments section on the bottom of the page, or Facebook, Twitter, all of that. We have a question here. Yes, that's right. It's a worldwide simultaneous release for Phantom Trigger. So it's coming out all over the world at the same time, and the English version will have both English and Japanese text available in the game. So that'll be obviously available on Steam on April 28th, so I don't know exactly what time yet at this point, but it'll be available that day. And then physical versions through the Kickstarter. Currently, we're obviously, the Kickstarter launch date is planned for the beginning of March, and so it'll end around the end of March, and we're aiming to begin shipping within about a month at the end of the campaign. We want to give people time to answer their backer kit surveys, and then we have to obviously actually produce the new English physical goods for the game, but we're aiming to ship probably 2 to 3 weeks after the launch of the game on Steam, so you should be expecting to receive those rewards around, let me do the mental math in my head here, probably early June is when I would say for that at the latest. But we'll have more info on that as the time gets closer. Anything else over there?
Wants to know if we are going to make this important.
Yeah, we have a lot of potential ideas in the lineup for Phantom Trigger as far as, you know, supplementary materials to that. We don't have anything 100% confirmed that can be announced quite yet, but just keep an eye on, you know, Facebook, Twitter, and probably, you know, upcoming future Frontwing TV episodes for more information on that. So I'm going to move on to our next little tidbit of information here. A lot of people have been asking about this, very interested in this, wondering what the status is, and I can tell you now that Island is 50% translated currently, and we are planning on releasing this during this year. We don't have a final release schedule, release window set yet, but it'll almost definitely be out this year, and it's 50% translated now, so we are hard at work on Island and very excited about getting that out to you, and we're also excited for the upcoming Island anime, which we will share more information about as it gets closer. So I hope that's very exciting for all of you to hear. I'm just taking a look at the chat reaction here. Alright, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing here. This is another little announcement we have. This may come as a surprise to some of you. Now, I can't share very much information about this right now. I'm going to put up the image, tell you what we have to say, but I can't really talk about it much past that, so it'll just be a little thing to whet your appetites until we can share more about it. But yes, I can announce that we will be publishing Subarashi Hibiki Subahibi, and that is also planned to come out later this year. So look forward to more information on that as it gets closer. We'll probably be able to share more as we move into spring and closer to summer. So I hope you guys are looking forward to and excited for that as well. And apart from that, we do have a few other projects in the work, both internal and working on some third-party titles. We can't really share any information beyond that at the moment, but we do have some very interesting things in the pipeline that I think all of you should hopefully enjoy and be excited about when we finally can announce them. So with that, that's pretty much all the announcements we have at the moment. But I just want to go about 10 minutes or so, turn it over to some Q&A. If anyone in the chat has any questions or comments or anything you want answered, I'll be taking a look here. And about Corona Blossom Volume 1 awards, I can kind of talk a little more candidly about this for a moment. I realize the campaign hasn't been updated with a current status in a while, and basically the reason for that is that we don't have any new information. We're in contact with the shipping company, but we have not received an update yet on the status of packages. Originally, we were expecting around the end of January, first week of February, for packages to have been sent out. And basically, the place we're at right now is that we're still waiting to hear back about the status of those. So I'll post another update to the campaign to make sure that everyone is, up to date on the lack of new information. It's a delicate situation because I kind of don't want to post an update saying that we have nothing to update you about, but I will do that so that everyone is up to date on the situation, and obviously as soon as we know any concrete information, that'll be going out to all of you ASAP, and I will make sure that we push for getting updated information as soon as possible. Anybody else there in the chat with any questions? Possibly, I don't know if there are many people watching on YouTube Live as well, but there might be. Just one moment here. Oh yeah, so the Profundia page for Phantom Trigger, as soon as this stream is ended, I'm going to end at about half past. We will post out the link on Facebook, Twitter, and we'll put it to a few other places as well, so you'll be able to get to that as soon as we're done here. So yeah, for Volume 2, basically, for Volume 2, we have scheduled to use the same shipping company as Volume 1, so that's basically they're going to ship out Volume 2. Excuse me, I apologize for that. They're going to ship out Volume 2 as soon as they're finished with Volume 1, so we'll be following up with them and making sure that gets out. For Volume 3, currently I believe the rewards have finished production, and so we'll be deciding how to approach the shipping for Volume 3 very shortly, and we'll get back to you about that as soon as we can. The other thing I meant to mention, and I will mention this when I update the Volume 1 campaign as well, but as an apology for the huge kind of unacceptable wait for the Volume 1 rewards, we are preparing a apology gift. Basically, we haven't decided the details of it yet, but we will have an apology gift for everyone who was affected by those delays. So please look forward to that, and I hope it soothes the burn a little bit. So the future of Corona Blossom currently right now, Volume 3 was the end of the story for now, but there is definitely the potential to revisit that universe in some form, maybe not necessarily a game, maybe some other type of work in the future, but currently we're kind of focusing on especially Phantom Trigger and a few other projects. So if we see something more out of Corona Blossom, it probably won't be for a little while. But we do know that the response to the story was quite positive, and we appreciate that our fans are out there and wanting more. I think I saw another one. So yeah, for Labyrinth of Grisaya Physical, you would have to get in contact with Seikai Project about that. We're not involved in the physical production of those goods, so unfortunately I don't really have any information to share with you about that. I'm not actually sure what the Aokana project refers to, but I can look into that, and any information I can find I'll post on Twitter or wherever, however I can get that information out to you. And go for about 5 more minutes here if anyone else has any questions. Right, yeah, we can address that. Any on YouTube there? Right, so yes, as far as crowdfunding for Island or Subahibi, that's not quite decided yet. Essentially, currently, basically, our kind of modus operandi is if we have a big release coming out and we want to make physical goods for it available overseas, currently we're turning to usually Indiegogo. We're doing Kickstarter for Phantom Trigger this time because we have some kind of loftier ambitions for it, bigger goals. And then for things like Corona Blossom or possibly future volumes of Phantom Trigger, we kind of default to Indiegogo more as just a way to sell goods. We are looking into getting a full-fledged overseas-oriented storefront set up. So that is something we hope to have in the future, but it's just takes a little more time to get something of that magnitude set up. And the other benefit, at least for, in my opinion, of crowdfunding is being able to offer the goods as a package at a bit of a discounted cost for everyone. Excuse me, especially because for like direct, especially even looking at like backer kit add-on sales, it's kind of difficult to coordinate shipping costs for multiple items because your platform has to support being able to change the shipping cost if you've got 1 item or 5 items. So being able to offer the reward packages makes that a lot more streamlined for us and everyone else. So obviously, I mean, some people may feel that crowdfunding is not the best suited way to offer physical goods and stuff like that, but we think it's worked out for us pretty well so far, and most people seem to be okay with that. So for the time being, we are mostly going with that, but yeah, for Island and Subahibi, that'll be something to look forward to information to as the releases get closer. I'm sorry, I can't say more than that at this point, but... Oh yes, conventions. We don't have anything decided at 100% at the moment, but we are definitely looking heavily into a couple of conventions in the U.S., possibly this year. If not this year, then hopefully next year, and also the potential of going to a couple conventions in Asia. So I don't have any concrete information right now, but as soon as we do know anything, we'll be sure to announce it, and we definitely are looking to go to more conventions for sure. Yeah, that is a good question. I'll actually have to look into that. I think certainly we would prefer it to be Phantom Trigger characters, but I think it's possible. I mean, obviously the kind of, it's definitely a very, gosh, what am I trying to say here? It would definitely, we can look into, I mean, since it's a very special item and it's a high tier, we can definitely look into non-Phantom Trigger characters as well for that, if you're interested in it.
Users also asking about Asumira.
Ah, yes, Hatsumira. So Hatsumira is kind of like our second tier project right now. So basically we have projects that we're actively working on, like Island and Phantom Trigger, and then so Hatsumira is just below that, in that as soon as we have the ability to work on it, we will, but currently it's not in active development, so that's something to look forward to closer to maybe the end of this year. Next year we might have some more information to share about that.
This question also ties up a little bit with what you're looking for Tigers.
Right, so yeah, and again, other older titles, they're always kind of in our mind to put out, but basically the situation right now for us is that our in-house translation staff is not that big, so working on 2 to 3 projects at a time is kind of our upper limit at this point. So as time goes on, we'll certainly look into older projects getting translated, but our main focus right now is getting our current projects out, and then once that's taken care of, we can start looking at older stuff. I'll get one more here, and then we'll kind of wrap this up.
Phantom Trigger.
Ah, yes. So yeah, we have early bird tiers for 2 of our tiers, for the digital and the physical deluxe, and each of those early bird tiers will have 100 slots in them. And so I think that just about wraps it up. We've got a little bit of a shorter broadcast this time. Last time we had a whole lot of stuff to share, so it was about an hour. But this time we've got about just a nice little half-hour episode of Frontwing TV for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to checking out the Phantom Trigger Prefundia and sharing your opinions and suggestions with us for that. And we'll be back. Obviously, when I did the first episode, I said it would be monthly. We didn't have a whole lot to share last month, so we kind of delayed a little bit. So I don't want to say for sure that we'll be back next month, but we'll be back with another episode for you as soon as we have, substantial information to share. So I hope you look forward to that. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a good evening, night, or day, depending on where you are. And see you later.